Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have a slightly different setup, and it's going to be like that almost every single time I do new videos in maybe over the next month. So things are shifting around here. But, well, I wanted to talk about Palia because, well, I might actually use this channel to talk about one other game that I play. I don't play it all that often, but I do play it. But anyway, back to this. All right, so there's that big money making thing with the Will-O-Wisp Rockhopper, whatever, right? And I mean, it was something that I did, yes, but it's not something that I overindulged in. Like, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that did like 15 times more than what I did. But I think with only doing a few lures, I have a couple in my inventory and I wanted to sell it. And one thing I did was I bought a bunch of carrots. As you can tell, my storage is at 10,500, kind of a lot. Well, I bought a bunch of carrots to like lower that so then I can then can them and then shipping bin them out. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a loss, but I'm also gonna be making uh still gonna be making money off of it in time. But regardless, until that, we're gonna load up the shipping bin with this. I know it's only like 2 minutes, but all of the non-gold star ones, like they don't really mean anything to me. But what's crazy is 316,800. It's like I didn't even exploit it as much as what the other ones did. I feel like I only went like to one or two lures per day for like, well, the days that I play. I don't play every single day. As you can maybe tell, I do have a life outside of this, and I, as a professional athlete, and I work, and I have things going on. So anyway, regardless, back to this. Wanted to sell those off, but I also wanted to talk about making money in this game because, well, it's I'd say an interesting topic. Actually, I probably should have sold that rather than, but it's full. It's full. All right, so what I'm noticing for money, right? I've already mentioned that I recycle some with the carrots. So I have a couple of these preservative jars full of carrots, and the moment that they turn up, I sell them. So it's like I don't have that many right now, but I'll go ahead and collect a couple. I'm actually a little under now that I've sold all those, so I can maybe dump some of these in here. Yeah, I think I just bought $150,000 of carrots just so I'd have enough space in my inventory. Well, just so I have enough money, I guess, banked up in order to then sell all those frogs because that was going to be a bit over the 1 million cap, which I think is still uh, in effect, right? Like I think you can still have a maximum of 1 million basically. So if you go over that, it just doesn't feed it into your account. Now, if they've updated that with this new update, like that would be nice, but um, I'm not banking on it exactly. So other than, the one-time selling of all those kind of things and the recycling money aspect that I tell you that I do, which I mean, yeah, it's not a lot right now, but once I get the rest of the 1,500 or whatever through it, then it'll look a little better. Actually, let's go ahead and grab those seeds I dumped in here a moment ago. There we go. All right, so outside of that, what I'm noticing for money making is actually these, what are they? Wow, these beans. I feel like they have an interesting name. Let's go find it real quick. I probably should have, known the name of this before I wanted to talk about it, but here we go. Butterfly beans. All right, so the butterfly beans. That seems to be what is making the most money when it comes to gardening. And so, of course, there's, I would say, a little bit of like some hints and tricks in order to try to make it a little bit more profitable, such as I'm planting rice in these little pockets. And so what that does is it does a harvest boost because apparently butterfly beans also have a harvest boost. So they boost the wheat and or rice. They boost the rice and the rice boosts the butterfly beans. So that means that your maximum that you get off of each harvest is a higher number, which is helpful whenever you only have so many plots and you're like me you have a lot going on throughout the day, and like Palia is just like the for fun thing of your day, of your evening, or part of your morning routine, like it is mine. That is a good point. I do actually really enjoy going to play in the morning when I drink my coffee. But actually, I probably should have dumped those somewhere else. Let me take those back out. So here's the thing, though, right? One of them is 34, and whenever they become a seed packet, that 34 becomes 135. So it basically jumps up by 100 each time. So that's a decent amount. And so what I've been doing is I've just been, oh right, well it's kind of full up there, but anyway, what I've been doing is uh, making them into seed packets, right? But the thing is it takes some time. There is a small downside of doing this, and that is that little aspect that you see right here where it says 2 hours. Yeah, so for it to have that 100 coin boost, it takes 2 hours, which again is perfectly fine if you play like me, which is that, you know, you drink coffee and you water your flowers in the morning, and then you go to work all day, and then you come home and you play, and you're gathering. We'll dump someone here, right? You're gathering what the craft preserve it, or yeah, you preserve the jars, all of your seeds. You're like then you're gathering all of that. Oh, I'll get back to that in a second. But anyway, back to you. So, am I able to? Yes. Okay, good. Right. So it's like I feel like this is the new money maker, and this is where I'm going to be putting a lot of my time and effort is into making these butterfly bean seeds. Actually, might not have enough space to grab all of them. Yep, I don't, but that's okay. I'll come back. All right. So I haven't actually sold any of them yet, only because I've been waiting. But let's go ahead and dump some of these in here and start pulling these out. Only because I like to fill whenever I have something like this. I like to just fill the entire thing. All right, so those are all butterfly. I don't think I have any more in there. And then come over here, and I think, have enough to do this. All right, and 155 and 115. I'm still under that 1 million cap, which is great. But I also still have 10K in here, and the other one had some in there too. So I think if you have the time, this seems to have um, a good return in terms of like how much to how much. So one thing that I always have problems with the bok choy is not that they make a bunch of money, but that they make a bunch of volume. So there's a high quantity that it then puts out. So you have to visit your seed things twice a day. You have to, or else they're going to stop. They can only do about 15 before the little output area is full. And then you have to like take those out, and then you have to wait for and I mean, they were like an hour 15 or something, right? But it's like this can keep going. It can do 150 before it's like, hey, I'm full. So that's 150 beans that it then makes into seeds. It's like, yeah, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, which is actually kind of helpful. It packs a higher money punch in a fewer amount of things. So to me, this is actually what I'm going to be moving to. And like, I think, well, okay, so those look like they might need some sort of rearrangement. But I think for the most part, yeah, like this one, it looks like you need to have it touching two rice things in order to have a harvest boost on it. So it looks like I'm just missing that harvest boost on about 3 total of them. So it's like, yeah, I might do a little bit of a rearrangement in order to like make that be all of them having a harvest boost, but we'll get there. But yeah, I do. I find that a good thing as far as making money. And of course, the other thing I do to make money is that rice that I use for that harvest boost. Well, then I make all of this kanji, right? Like that's why I have I think there's like 16 of these fireplaces literally all in a row. I'd probably make more if I had more space, but for some reason this is my everything plot and everything is all packed together and none of it makes sense as far as where it's located, but you know, it's okay. So I also use this to make money, but as you can see, I also use this for my cooking skill. And so it's super easy to get quite a bit of cooking skill, but I actually haven't taken a look at some of those new recipes. It might not be the best and only way. There might be some other good ways of making a decent amount of coin. But yeah, then I dump those in there. So the rice becomes kanji, and then you sell it in terms of the glow farm or the worm farm. I think they make the same amount out of both, right? So the rice becomes that, goes through that, gets sold. The carrots get preserved jar and sold. The butterfly beans get seed and then they sold. So I have several different ways of making money. And I'd say this is like a low way of making money, but if you happen to go to the Elderwood and get a bunch of ancient wood and then make the ancient wood plank, it's like 19 seconds to make one and it goes from a one to a three. So it's like there's a bit of an uptick in that. So you see it's worth three as a plank and it's worth one as an abundant material. And I mean, I'm cutting those trees down in order to get some of this infected essence. So it's like I'll come home with like 400 wood pieces, I guess, with each visit. So it's like, well, what am I going to do with that after doing that like trip a couple times? Like nothing. So I just throw it in here. It takes 19 seconds. I don't know. I go water my plants to come back and I take it out and I put it in. So it's like there's a lot of ways now to be making money. And so, oh, not that. So with this right here about the getting paid, it's like, yeah, I'm at 7 million right now. That has gone up a little bit just due to a couple things here or there, but I think finally I'm going to start being able to get a little bit more per day with those butterfly beans. It doesn't look like pumpkins have that same effect. I need to do the math on it to be sure, but this is kind of the direction I'm going in order to try to get, that 10 million right there is was with butterfly beans. So, maybe just maybe we'll get paid, which I'm still not sure how we're ever going to make the 100 million goal, but I guess that's a problem for another time. All right, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk again soon. Hopefully, you're making money. If you have any ideas, tips, and tricks on like, hey, Liz, why are you not doing this? You know, let me know. All right, bye, guys.